What if people who frustrate you aren't being rebellious, but genuinely believe they're doing the right thing? How did Jesus respond to people committing the greatest sin in history, and what does that mean for the way we correct others today? Does believing that everyone is right in their own eyes change how you talk to irritating brethren, disappointing leaders, or even your own family? When you confront someone, are you aiming to win an argument or to win a heart?
Welcome to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. Mr. Barber is a preacher, a ventriloquist, a barefoot runner, and writes 2 blogs. When Jerrie communicates, he encourages people, try not to learn very much. Find a mustard seed. In the next few minutes, try not to learn very much. Look for something you can do to move a mountain, remove a stumbling block, or provide a stepping stone for yourself or someone else. And now, here's Jerrie with this week's mustard seed.
Why in the world would anybody do that? Anybody in their right mind ought to know better than that. They aren't honest. How I answer the question in my mind determines how I approach someone to confront and correct them. If they aren't in their right mind and aren't honest, I may not be working with good soil, but I may be a poor judge of someone's heart. Proverbs 21 verse 2 has been helpful to me as a beginning point in evaluating bizarre behavior. Every way of a man is right in his own eyes, but the Lord weighs the heart. The rule, the proverb, everything a person does, he believes the best thing for him to do at that moment. Does that apply to big sins as well as medium and small sins? Would killing Jesus be a big sin? Jesus must have read and believed this proverb when he said on the cross, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." Luke 23:34. Peter agreed with this observation when he spoke to those who clamored for Jesus' death in Acts 3:17. "Yet now, brethren, I know that you did it in ignorance, as did also your rulers." Paul was sure of the same principle, applying it to the same people in 1 Corinthians 2:7 and 8. "But we speak the wisdom of God in a mystery, the hidden wisdom which God ordained before the ages for our glory, which none of the rulers of this age knew, for had they known, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory." If I believe what Jesus, Peter, and Paul said, it will moderate how I talk with people who do and teach things that aren't true, brethren who irritate me, elders who disappoint me, preachers who don't act like preachers, weak brethren who fall, strong brethren uninformed on some things, my children, my spouse. How do I minister to those who don't know what they're doing? Number one, teach them as I want to be taught when I don't know what I'm doing. Matthew 7:12. "So whatever you wish that others would do to you, do also to them, for this is the law and the prophets." Have you or I ever done anything we thought was right, the best thing to do, but later discovered it was wrong? How did you want to be treated? I don't want to be insulted, degraded, and treated like a dishonest person. I can explain and share what I've learned without inferring that they're stupid because they haven't already understood this. When Peter told the people on Pentecost, they changed their minds and changed their ways. Number two, show them by example, especially when I'm very irritated by their actions. Often when I'm overly irritated with someone, it's when they remind me of something I haven't realized yet. Number three, learn from them. We compliment someone when we recognize that everything they do isn't wrong. I do myself a favor when I realize that, because some things others do or say may be wrong. Everything they do or say isn't wrong. It's okay to admit that and learn from what they do that's right. Having the mind of Christ, I am to value others better than myself. Number 4, suffer for them to help them. Jesus prayed for people who didn't know what they were doing. I don't think his prayer was answered then. For some, it was answered at Pentecost when Peter gave them the correct information on what they had done wrong, which they thought was right. But Jesus' suffering on their behalf on the cross made possible the blessing Peter promised to those who accepted. It wasn't the first time Jesus didn't get what he asked for. When we serve others, we often do more than having ready answers to Bible questions with much heat and a little light. Number 5, be patient. I won't fix everything in 15 minutes. Some people are slow learners. Peter had several opportunities to understand that there is no partiality with God and shouldn't be with him. Number 6, some people learn when they see someone else doing what they're doing. When David heard about a sheep stealer with Nathan's help, David saw David as he was. Listen to 2 Samuel 12, 1-13 from the Message. But God was not at all pleased with what David had done and sent Nathan to David. Nathan said to him, there were 2 men in the same city, one rich, the other poor. The rich man had huge flocks of sheep, herds of cattle. The poor man had nothing but one little female lamb which he had bought and raised it. It grew up with him and his children as a member of the family. It ate off his plate and drank from his cup and slept on his bed. It was like a daughter to him. One day a traveler dropped in on the rich man. He was too stingy to take an animal from his own herds or flocks to make a meal for his visitor. So he took the poor man's lamb and prepared a meal to set before his guest. David exploded in anger. As surely as God lives, he said to Nathan, the man who did this ought to be lynched. He must repay for the lamb 4 times over for his crime and his stinginess. You're the man, said Nathan. When you talk with someone, what are you aiming for? It'll make a difference in what you hit.
Thank you for listening to Gleaning Mustard Seeds with Jerrie Barber. If you found a mustard seed, send a text or email with the link to a friend. This podcast was brought to you by Jerrie Wayne Barber, sales manager with AmeriPro Roofing. AmeriPro Roofing has been around since the year 2000 and has had an office in Franklin, Tennessee for the last 10 years. We have installed well over 200,000 roofs nationwide and are excellent at replacing roofs, gutters, and siding. We are reasonably priced and outstanding at working with your insurance, which helps minimize your out-of-pocket expense. If you would like a free inspection of your roof and other exteriors, please call Jerrie Barber at 931-628-3390 for an appointment in Middle Tennessee. AmeriPro Roofing. Standards through the roof. Thank you for listening. Jerrie looks forward to next week as we continue to collect and plant mustard seeds.